Hey y'all, Kate at Kate's Garden Chicken and Cat Rambles, and I'm coming to you from inside the chicken yard. It's about 10:30 in the morning. It's already up in the 80s, and I'm not going to do anything in the garden or outside today. I spent Tuesday and Wednesday out here, even though I've tried to do it, at the coolest times and in short bursts. But sometimes you just have to come out and do stuff in the afternoon. Do you have to stand right in front of the camera with your big body there, Missy? And I got way overheated 2 days in a row. So I'm sorry I'm moving this. I'm trying to find a good spot where it can set level and you can see what the chickens are up to and not me. Oops. That's probably pretty good. So I brought some scratch out. And this morning it was a big hit. I gave them a little bit, but to throw it in there for they dust bathe, oh my goodness. That's like, oh my gosh. Hey, you've been pecking at this bag. So trying to teach him to eat nicely out of my hand. He wasn't as much of a hand-raised baby as the Brahmas and Laddie and Luna. It's kind of like he's like a middle child. Yeah, I'm sure if Daisy hatches any of those eggs and we have the young ones, he'll feel like that little group. He and Zinnia and Lily over there, and Lily's over here. She's like, "Oh, sorry, didn't mean to land on your head." Yep. Stop. He goes into this hard bite. It's like he doesn't know what I'm doing. Now he's eating. So I don't know if it's the movement. I tried to move slow. Now, since I don't see Luna out here squeezing her way into the snacks, she is probably on the nest box. Good boy. See? Don't have to bite the mama's hands. There's treats in it. Yummy. He didn't make the noise to call her over, but he gave her this look, and she looked at him in the eye, and she's like, okay. Did he give you that look like there's something really yummy in there? I notice, especially with my bigger birds, there's something in the treat that they want. They will like almost scratch at it. You can see like she's doing and make a big mess of it to get to the one little piece she wants. Is that your favorite? Is that your favorite flavor? Uh, these are golden raisins, and maybe it's because their size, but they don't always seem to eat them as well. She's like, yeah, I don't like raisins. You don't like raisins? I don't like raisins either, so I don't blame you. We'll leave the good. So I don't want to waste any more scratch. They don't need any more, so I'll toss a little bit more in there where they like to dust bathe. While they're dust bathing, they'll kick up a piece of scratch and they'll be like, snack. So I'm leaving this still. Come on. I know your feathers are looking a little janky, Missy. Yeah, you got little janky feathers. Oh, here comes the queen. Here comes the queen. Oh, I hope that's getting her. Yep, there's Miss Luna. Now, Luna's very gentle if she wants to eat out of your hand. I was really sad. I mean, I'm saddened by the loss of all my chickens, but I really miss her sister, Una. Ona. Yeah, you don't like raisins either, huh? You guys definitely take after your mama, because mama don't like raisins. And mine aren't big sunflower seed eaters. They'll peck at them, but I bought some ground organic flaxseed, and I'm going to start mixing a little bit of that with their food. It's really good for their eggs and yolks, and they get flaxseed comes in their food, their regular food. So, but flaxseed's also really good for the immunity, and I wanted to put a little bit. I mean, I use it for me, but the same what I use for me, I can use for them, and I'm going to start adding it. You have to do it in small increments, slowly, for their bodies to adjust to it, but it's actually really good for their immune system. So I really, really want to make sure that I get it in. Well, I'm going to get it in everyone's food, but I want to make sure Cece gets a good dose of it and that Laddie and Flower are getting it, since they are the ones who free range the yard. That's my knee. Ouch, stop pecking my knee. That's a freckle. Don't peck my freckles. Chickens and bare skin. Anyway, just because they can come in contact with things that chickens in their these guys in their confined yard won't. But I don't know if you can tell. I'll move this a little bit. I mowed it, and in their yard I didn't use the grass catcher. I just used, that's my shin. I just let it just blow all over the grass because they love to dig through it. I think I mentioned that in yesterday's video, though that was a really long video. Sorry, but when I get to rambling, yeah, I should have threw that a little further so that it's not just one of you guys hogging the camera. There you go. This, I think it's like $10 for 2¼ pounds, 2.25 pounds. It has beets, peas, pumpkin seeds, sunflower seeds, sweet potatoes, raisins, and broccoli. It's also got oregano and thyme, flax zest, and pellets. So if anyone's interested, I don't know any chickens who do not like this. Though I think they have another one that's called the Ultimate Scratch, which I buy that one more often. And then there's another one that's, instead of Garden Delight, it's called Harvest Delight. And they really like that one too. So when I went to order them, it was going to take it longer to get here. And I have a little bit of the organic Scratch Paw Bot still in their scratch bin. Sorry. My issue with it was so much of it seems so powdery. So I will go back to buying Producer's Pride, for no more scratch than you're supposed to feed them, just as a treat or as an enticement. Tractor Supply's Producer's Pride's just fine. I really need to go to the feed store and see if that feed store carries any Kalmbach scratch, but I don't know. This time, just because of the schedule, I went ahead and ordered off Amazon my Kalmbach feeds. Yeah, I would save $20 a bag if I went to go get it, but I have to drive almost to the border of Maryland to the only feed store in southern Delaware, in the bottom half of Delaware, that carries it. So by the time the fuel going there and probably a drink and a lunch or whatever, that $20 cheaper is pretty much just made up with the shipping. I pretty much have figured out that, he pecked me and now I'm bleeding. But I have figured out that pretty much the difference is what you get in shipping. Of course, I have Amazon Prime, so I don't pay for shipping. But I've noticed when it comes to, even if you order it from Amazon, it comes directly from Kalmbach. It doesn't get shipped from like an Amazon warehouse or, one of their distribution centers. It, Amazon makes the sale, but when it arrives directly from Kalmbach, and the receipt in it is so that's probably where the $20 more to order it comes in. So we're just going to watch Lily here. Lily's having a good old time getting that scratch out of the dust bath. So I'm setting in a little bit of shade here. I'll turn this. I'm going to try to do it slowly. I'm trying to always think about what Wilma said to me. I know I made a video about Cece's being a heavy drinker, and when I was looking around the yard, I just like as if I was a human standing in the yard turning in a circle. That's kind of what I do with the camera. And I used to suffer from vertigo, from Meniere's disease. Now that I'm on a blood pressure, and they used to put me on a low dose blood pressure pill back then, which I went off for years. But now that I'm old and on one, I rarely have issues with vertigo, unless my sinuses are just really messed up. But oops, sorry, there's a bug trying to fly in my nose. Tuesday and Wednesday, I just got too much sun. Yesterday, I could even tell in my skin color, but I could not get cooled off yesterday. And then once had been in the house for a while, and I just had the fan going because I don't want to turn the AC on. Our house does not have central air. Paul has his AC up there. He runs it year round. My AC, which I haven't used since last summer, is not working right. So the little AC unit in my room. So I just have a couple big fans set up through the house, and it's very comfortable and nice and cool. But yesterday, my body had gotten so hot, and I didn't feel like I was cooling off. And then when I felt that I had cooled off, anytime air hit me, I had the shivers. So it's, hot outside. I mean, it's cool in the house, and the fan is just kicking up more shivers. But if I turn the fan off, then I get too hot. So just a combination of sun sickness and, I'm sure, menopause. But for any of you women who've gone through that, I'm going to have a talk with my doctor, because I mentioned it to my primary care doctor for about probably a year and a half, 2 years. And this day and age, I've found that if it is not part of your specialty, then they're just going to gaslight you. And as a family practice, he isn't specialized in anything. So anything that might seem a little bit out of his wheelhouse, he didn't even attempt. He just wants you to go to a specialist. So by getting into a specialist and getting an appointment and making sure your insurance is going to cover it, by the time you get all that done, you're past whatever the problem was, or you're just sicker. I'm just sick of it, but there's nothing I can do about it. I don't have an ongoing health. Well, I do, but it's not something that the doctors can treat or do anything about. It's congenital. It'll eventually probably lead to my death, but there's nothing you can do for blood disorders. I just live with it, and I always have, and I know it affects my energy and my stamina. It costs me positions in sports when I was younger. It has affected me when I really would push myself. I loved to run, but I ended up having to be a short distance runner because I just didn't have the stamina. You give you that big fast burst of energy and speed, but then I died out fast. But so anyhow, that I've learned to cope with and just power through my whole life. It hasn't stopped me. But now into middle age, and now that I've been forced to retire because of the blood and what it does to your heart, because of the lack of oxygen that your whole entire body has to deal with its whole life. I like to think that maybe that would make me less of a cancer candidate, because cancer loves really oxygenated cells, and that's not me. But I think just my normalcy. I grew up in Oklahoma, and in my 20s in Texas, and I could push the heat. I could tolerate the heat, but now I just can't. Uh-oh. Song party going on. So Luna went back into the coop. So she's oh no, I see her head, I think. Yeah, so she's in the nest box, unless that's her. I saw a little head with a red comb pop up over there by Cosmo. Oops, sorry. I thought it was Luna. It could be, but yeah, I think I see her tail. No, I can't tell. So somebody other than Daisy, I'm sorry, oops, is in there in the nest box singing. We'll go over and see what they're up to, because I can't stay out here. The sun from this little bit of a shade. Sorry. I'm trying to go slow. This tree is just now starting to get its little leaves. Where is it at? This tallest one. So it will provide more shade to this side of the back side of the chicken yard till about noon, 11 or noon. So let's go see what all the hubbub is about. I'm gonna leave my chair in here because I don't want to carry it. I'm using my selfie stick, which, sorry if this does something wonky, but I've got to adjust it. So let's go see what. First, I'm gonna move these chairs back. I moved them when I was mowing yesterday, and I had them here, and they were positioned over this hole. And I think you saw one of my videos, all the Brahmas and Luna all hanging out underneath. Well, they were down in that hole. So I filled this up today. It's going to be hot and it's in the sun, and it will have a shade cloth over it for the summer. But it was dirty, and I wanted to clean it out, make sure there were no cracks or leaks. So they haven't been in it, but the robins have been bathing in it. What's the scoop? What's the scoop? Why's everybody? So that's Zen Zen talking to Laddie and Flower. Let's see what's going on back here behind the chicken shack. So back here behind the chicken shack is Cosmo and the Brahmas. It's shady right now. It's getting to the point, probably getting close to 11, that the whole yard's going to be in sun. What you telling us? Sing it, sister. So there's the grass clippings yesterday. So that water bowl is in shade. That one's getting a little sun. I'm not going to worry about it. It's not super full. And then I have moved one of their waters and another food dish in here. All right, so where's Luna? I figured she was the reason. Oh, there she is. She must have been singing her song. Not the song that says, I just laid an egg, but the song that says, I'm fixing to lay an egg. I always thought the egg song was just after they laid an egg, they celebrated and told everyone they were laying an egg. No, they also, Cosmo's coming to check on his girls. I'm not messing with your women or stealing your future babies. So tonight, I'm going to come out. It's supposed to cool down. Tomorrow, I think our high is supposed to be 65. Sorry. But I'm going to, so tomorrow, I had to order some blades for my saw because I have a feeling I'm going to have to cut that floor part of it out because I don't think it will hold me to climb up in it. So before I take anything on the side, I want to take this bottom part out. So that board and this ramp, I'll just lift up and remove, and I'll store them. I might just store them away for the summer because without there having to be a door, the chickens don't need it. That'll give them more room to run around. And when I get this roosting bar mounted, if you didn't watch yesterday's video, I'm going to put one end of it there on that middle roost. They don't use it as much. And I'm going to mount it to the side of that. And then I'm going to bring it this way along this open north side wall. So getting the ramp out of there means that they're up there and they're pooping. They're not pooping on the ramp, which this ramp is 4 years old now or more, so it's seen better days. And it was just a 1x12 that I just, Paul had got some scrap I found in our basement or attic, a long stick of trim that had one end was broken or cracked, so I guess it was never used. Paul does not do home improvements or anything to his home, so it was probably there from before he moved in. But so I took it and cut it up and made little chicken ladder ramp steps. So you can see Zen Zen's panting there a little bit. I thought about bringing one of their waters over there by that, but they scratch around. Oops, sorry, over there so much. Plus, they would just kick stuff in it and every little bit of shade for them to get in. So I felt horrible today, and I felt like I'm gonna go out and put a shade cloth up. But tomorrow's high is 65, and we're gonna have 2 or 3 days of cooler temps, so I'm not gonna worry about it right now. So I'm fixing to go back in the house. Okay. In Oklahoma, we often say fixin'. I think they say it in the South too. I've always said it. I'm fixing to go there. I'm fixing to go here. I'm fixing to make that or do this. But it doesn't mean I'm fixing something as in making a dish or repairing something. It just means I'm getting ready to do it. So we're going to leave them to it. We might go around the backside and get a parting shot of them. Or not. It's sunny back there. But that's where all the birds are. So I've got my little hodgepodge of stuff that needs to go in my toolbox, which is in the coop, and I haven't bothered to put it in there yet. There's my PPC, the poultry protection cat. He's like, it was a long night. And I'm sure he stays on alert more since Laddie and Flower feel that they have to sleep up in the tree. So I got a couple still photos, but about 7:30, I came back out and I put her over there. You can see her yard's all mowed. And I set her food and water over there. And then Paul and I were on the other side of the fence. He was looking at her and she didn't like that. So she moved herself over here underneath that wall. And then when I came out, she was over here drinking. And, you know, Cornish crosses are rumored, they say, will just set and eat and eat and eat. So this morning there was probably a half cup in her dish just because I had it in the scoop and I was trying to fight off Laddie. And so I think there's probably a half cup in there, but I'm not going to feed her anymore today. That's her food ration for the day. And if there's anything else she wants to nibble, there's plenty of creepy crawlies. So, hoping the selfie stick is doing a lot better than just me holding the camera, because I have arthritis. So sometimes, you know, my hands get shaky when I've been gripping something for a while. And so anyway, I came out early this morning, like 6:30, and I watered everything. And I gave the feral cats who come from next door some food, and the two that have claimed my yard. So everyone got fed, everyone got watered, even the garden got fed and watered. Yeah, I fed them today. And so I did it all this morning, and I was still breaking out in a sweat, dealing with shortness of breath, which I tell my doctor about all the time. And they just go, okay, yeah, you know, I guess until I have such shortness of breath that I faint or it causes me to have some major problem, yeah, they're not going to pay much attention to it. So this shade cloth, look, that white thing in the middle, you can still see it's got some bug stuff on it, but you guys are supposed to be eating spider eggs. They're like, we don't like spider eggs, yuck. They're sticky and they stick to our beak. They don't go down smooth, huh? Kind of wondered about that. So I'm staying very still because Laddie's having a moment down here with the red crocs. And if he sees a scar, he will, or a freckle, he will peck at it. And on the back of my leg, I don't know if I can show them still, are the last time he flogged me. So he may have got me that one spot with the spur because it is pseudo deep. Last night after I got a shower, you know, of course the scabs are all soaky, so I rubbed them off. Something I've always done with, like, well, I'm a picker, but anytime I've skinned a knee or you get a big scrape, a lot of times, you know, when you get up to soak things and then take that moistened scab and wipe it off and put medication and let it heal from the bottom, and I get a less of a scar. Because wherever that scab is, I mean, yeah, it's going to shrink, but that's all dead. That's all dead skin and the dead tissue. And I mean, the scab's protecting the new stuff, but the scab can leave the scar because, you know, anyway, I'm not going to go into all of it. But so we can see here that Cosmo has got the Brahmas and Zin and Lily all over here in the shade. So right now it's probably 11 o'clock, and this is where the only shade is. So I've decided I'm going to move their pool kind of over here, just this side of that stump. And then I'm going to mount this 6x3. I thought about doing the 8x8. I might do the 8x8, but I think I'm going to mount, because I can get stakes in this far over, I think I'm going to mount the shade cloth from the side of this and angle it down, kind of like I did last year, but higher and not so floppy, or was it the year before? They all run together, and then I'll have their pool under the shade cloth. That's what I'm thinking. I'll do the 8x8 instead of the 3x6. That way there's more space that they can stand and wade in the pool. They can sit around it, drink from it, and it'll all be shaded all day long. But the one thing I found is a certain angle. Yeah, I think the way the trees are filling out, this will be fine. Last year I had a bunch of this netting that was still bunched around the bottom, and so I pulled it up and I just stuck it behind here when I was mowing because I was trying to get as close as possible. So there's a mess, but they don't mind. It's just more shade. It's a nice cool spot back there. There's wasps flying around. Oh, Zinzin was about to go get that wasp. So anyway, I'm going to end this video. I'm going to go back in. I'm getting too hot and sweaty, and I'm not doing anything else out here today. I'll come out to check on little Miss Cece, and then probably mid-afternoon, since I just checked their waters, I just filled them about an hour ago, I will come back out probably a couple hours, probably about 1 or 2, and bring them all fresh water, refresh all their bowls. And he's like, I'm following you, but he's being subtle about it. So all this white you're seeing is the sadness of the dogwood spring. She's losing all her white petals. Looks like it snowed in the yard. But a few days ago she was bright white, and then the day before yesterday, or yesterday morning I came back from the store, or the day before, no, it was yesterday, and I noticed the wind picked up and it was just a shower of white petals blew over me in the truck. Sorry, I got hiccups. Wow, that's like a hiccup with a little mini belch in it. So I need to come fill the bird feeders, but I'm not stressing it right now because it's the time of year that they got plenty to find. So it's got a wheat crop over here. Remember last summer we watched the corn grow. I hadn't even realized they had planted it. I wasn't even paying attention, and then when I was mowing day before yesterday, the front yard, I was like, holy crap, that stuff's about 18 inches tall. So that'll be wheat, and then they'll harvest it once it's ripe, and then they'll put the corn in. Or they might skip corn and put soybeans, but typically they rotate those 3 crops in this field. I don't know how they do it. I don't follow Delaware agricultural practices. Front garden, I haven't done anything with it. Still got all this dead stuff I'm going to pull out, but I'm trying to let what wildflowers are coming back get up so I know what I'm pulling out. But the lilies, daylilies, oriental lilies, daylily, oriental lilies, Asiatic lilies over there. Closer, there's the Asiatics. This is the Asiatic lily. So we've got rosemary. This is about a 6-7-year-old bush. It's really big. That's just like one branch of it. I think it got so heavy. I'm going to check, make sure that the trunk hasn't split, but it's kind of made its grown into like an arch shape. And here, nestled in its little crook of its arch, is yellow roses down here, and that'll be a white rose. So you can see the knockout roses are starting to pop out. I got some old photos that popped up like on my Facebook, like memories. And by this time, there was a lot more roses. But every year is different. We didn't have a normal winter, so I don't know how that affects them. And the time I should have been pruning them, I was just consumed with driving back and forth to hospital and the stroke rehab, and I just didn't, they weren't my high priority. But being knockout roses, they are tough, strong girls, and they don't need a lot of human help. But see, now we're getting this right here, I believe, is a form of stinging nettle. It's like a little briar. I don't know why it's coming up there, how it got there, but I'm going to have to put gloves and sleeves on to pull it out, because I just noticed that it has spikes. It has thorns on it. So I'm pretty sure that's the stinging nettle that we had the back. I didn't realize I was grabbing something else, and I grabbed a hold of it. And man, oh man, talk about sore and the stinging and the soreness. Oh my God, it was like the worst thing to ever poke me. It's like, oh my gosh, poked me on my hand, and it all swelled up and was all yucky looking. I was like, what the heck? So here are my survivors, my hydrangeas. That all 3 survived being crushed. Last year I only got 1 or 2 blooms, because I think last year was its first summer or second summer since they got crushed. I think I got crushed in 21. So yeah, the years just kind of flow together when you get my age. So they're coming back. This is the tree. That's still part of the tree that crushed it. And the little wild wilderness of limbs and sticks and piles of wood and uncut grass. And this is just the Paul's not. I've been pushing him for 2 summers to come out and clean this up. He's obviously not going to do it. So until it gets to a point that I can burn it, maybe this winter I'll have a huge bonfire there if I wasn't so close to electrical cords. But I'm going to move, start slowly burning all this off in like just little in my fire ring. And I need him to bring that dolly over here and load up several of those stumps. I picked out several I want to put in the chicken yard, but I can't carry them that far. And, one back and forth on the dolly would take me forever. And it's just too much on my back. Because I can drag it over there on the dolly, but then I got to pick them up and position them. So anyhow, enough rambling. These trees are covered in English ivy. This tree, I don't care if it chokes out and kills it. Paul hates this tree. I only like it for its shade value, but for the hydrangeas. And I don't know what this tree is. Does anybody know what this tree is? I think it might be in the elm family. I'm not sure. It was cut. Paul cut it down probably 15 years ago, 16 years ago, but he never took the stump out, and so this is what's left. The yuccas have just started to put up a bloom stalk. That bloom stalk, I don't know if the camera shows it, but it's about 1.5 to 2 inches across. Right now it's about probably 14, 16 inches from its base. So we're going to get a bloom out of that one. I didn't see these the other day. There's another one, if you don't know what yucca blooms look like. So if you look at my old videos, you'll see the yucca. If you're not familiar with yucca, like you live, see, there's Nomad. She does have a little, I knew she had a little place under there. She's got food over there, but this stalk here will shoot up. That's the oldest, that's the mama, this is the baby. There's 2 grandchildren in here too. But that stalk will shoot up about 8-9 feet in the air. I had one year that was from the base to the top 10 foot. And then once it gets up there, it will burst out with all these beautiful bell-shaped flowers. And I'll take pictures of them, of course. Especially for those of you who are new, I don't expect you to go to my Facebook or look at all the pictures. But you can find me on Facebook at Kate Robler Bowlerjack. But anyhow, and on Instagram, I believe it's AK Bowlerjack or something. Anyway, go to my Facebook, then you can find me through Instagram. But anyway, if you need to or want to, I don't do a lot posting or stuff on Facebook because I find Facebook people are very cruel. They are some of the most evil, wicked people I've ever met. It's like some people just get on there and they spend their days on Facebook just coming up with every horrible, nasty thing they can say to people. And I've got pretty tough skin, but my skin is tough, but it's thin, if you know what I mean. And I keep a lot in. I hold a lot in, and then it builds, and then the stress eats me up. Because I don't like to explode or attack people back. Now, if you're in my face and you're doing it, then you might want to look away because I'll tolerate it so much, and then, I've had someone yak at me and bitch at me. Listen to them for 15, 20 minutes, yell in my face. They would not calm down. They would not settle down. They would not discuss it. So I just punched her in the mouth and she shut the fuck up. Oops, sorry about my language, but. And then kind of knocked some sense in her, and she realized and she was upset, but then she was like, oh, I'm sorry, I lost control. I was going after you. I said, yeah. And you were like, had a haze. She had like a fog in her brain, and she was just bitching and bitching. Turned out I wasn't the person she was upset with. I was just the person she chose to vent it on. And she vented it on the wrong person on the wrong day. Because I couldn't get away from her. I couldn't just walk away. She was like following me and didn't really know her. I kind of knew her. We were at a music festival, and it was all something about her boyfriend talking to some girl, and I was like, some girl named Kate. I'm like, okay, I'm a 37-year-old woman named Kate, so I don't believe I'm the girl that your 21-year-old boyfriend is talking to on the phone. well, you know, you've got long dark hair and you look just like his type. And I saw him talking to you a while ago. And I'm like, who are you talking about? And she pointed to him and I'm like, oh my God, he was asking me if I had change 4 or 5 because we were at a music festival and I guess, or no, he wanted to know if I had any 5s. He wanted change for a 20. He went to some booth or something to get some food and they didn't have change. And so we stood there talking for a minute, laughing about, you know, you would think that they would realize that people, you know, travel with $20 bills, and even at these festivals, they need to have change. And so he and I chatted with that for a minute and laughed, and I walked off. And she was a bit drunk, and I think that was just enough to set her off. But she was harshing my vibe, if you know what I mean. So when I could get her to shut up or calm down, I smacked her, and then she shut up and calmed down. I don't advocate violence or hitting other people, but I'm just one of those people. You push it to the point too far and get in my face, and I will do a smackdown on you. I'm sorry. I'm not. I don't care if I hurt your feelings. Feelings are a dime a dozen. Yeah, he's looking at the camera. He's like, "What are you doing?" All right, so I'm going to end this. I'm getting too hot and sweaty. Looking at my sweet kitty. You can hardly see him. And checking on Cece. So I'll get back at you guys maybe tomorrow on the weekend, but I hope you're having a great Thursday. And it's going to be hotter in Hades here. And I just want to live somewhere where the temperature never ever gets above 80. Anybody know of a place like that? I don't care about how cold it gets in the winter because you can bundle up. But in the summer, you can only get so naked. It's harder to cool off than it is to warm up. Miss Flower walking the perimeter. And Miss Cece got her eyes closed, just snacking away. This is the feral cat rooster water, which is just actually here for any creature that wants to eat out of it, drink out of it. You're such a backwasher, especially with his little dirty beak. He gets his beak wet, and then he goes eats or pecks at stuff, and his beak gets coated in food and gunk. And then he goes gets a drink, rinses it off, and starts all over. That's part of his little crooked beak. Stuff just sticks to his face. But it does give his girlfriend little snacks to peck off out of his cheek muffs and his beard. He's got the best little black and white cheek muffs. Yeah, when I'm holding him, he lets me touch him. He's so sweet when I'm holding him. Okay, laddie, let's say bye, okay? Say bye-bye.